All right, get ready because today we're diving deep into the world of an icon, Rihanna. And we're going all in, folks, using her Wikipedia page as our roadmap. It's amazing what we can learn from these things, right?
You're telling me. It's incredible how much she's done, really. Music, business, philanthropy. We're talking about a woman who's basically conquered the world one step at a time.
No kidding. And to think it all started on the island of Barbados. You know, she formed her first musical trio when she was just 15.
Oh, yeah, I read about that. Talk about an early start.
Seriously. But, you know, even back then, it wasn't just about being in a group. You know, like she had this presence, even as a teenager.
Well, the record producer, Evan Rogers, the one who discovered her, he said something like, the minute Rihanna walked into the room, it was like the other two girls didn't exist.
Whoa. It's like she was born for this.
Right. Even as a teenager, she had that it factor, that undeniable star power that sets someone apart.
Wow. Just imagine being in that room. It's like witnessing destiny,
Oh, no, right?
And Rogers, he clearly knew what he was doing. Because just 2 years later, bam, she signs with Def Jam at 17.
That's wild, right? Suddenly you're in this crazy high-pressure world of recording and performing, and you're barely out of high school.
Can you imagine the pressure?
No way.
But she handled it like a champ. Her debut album, Music of the Sun, it had that Caribbean vibe for sure.
Definitely.
But the choice of Pon de Replay as the lead single, genius. Total strategic move to capture that summer energy, introduce her to the world with a bang.
Absolutely. Smart move for sure. And it's interesting, that strategic thinking, it's been a constant in her career. Even early on, there was a sense of purpose there.
Oh, yeah. Totally. But she didn't just stick to one formula, Think about her musical evolution from those early island vibes to, bam, full-blown pop explosion of Good Girl Gone Bad.
Yeah, you can definitely see the change. That album was a real turning point, wouldn't you say?
Totally.
It showed she wasn't afraid to experiment, to evolve her sound and push those boundaries.
Definitely. And then, of course, we got Umbrella.
Oh, man, Umbrella.
What a game changer. It wasn't just a catchy song. It was a whole cultural moment. Everybody was singing it, trying to do that dance with the umbrella.
I remember that.
What do you think it was about that song? Why did it resonate so much with people, you think?
That's a good question. I think there are a few things at play there. First, the production was top-notch. I mean, that beat, that melody, instantly catchy. And then the lyrics. Playful, empowering, both at the same time. And, the timing was perfect. Released at the start of summer, captured that feeling of, carefree abandon. It all came together, Created this massive hit, solidified her status as a global icon.
It's like the stars aligned or something. But what's really impressive is that she didn't just ride that wave. She kept pushing, kept exploring new sounds and themes, like Rated R, for example. That album, it was a lot darker, more introspective.
Yeah, for sure.
You can almost hear the impact of the Chris Brown assault on that album, right?
It's possible, yeah. There's definitely this raw vulnerability there, this sense of processing something really traumatic. It showed a different side to her, a depth that went beyond the pop princess image.
And people connected with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It proved she wasn't afraid, to be honest, to show those flaws and vulnerabilities. It's like she invited us into her journey, the good and the bad.
For sure.
And then she came back with Loud, this explosion of energy and color.
It was like a phoenix rising from the ashes. That album felt like a declaration of independence, a celebration of her strength and resilience.
Absolutely. And she just kept going. Each album a reflection of her growth, both as an artist and as a person.
That's what's so incredible about her, right?
Yeah, it's amazing. Okay, but here's what blows my mind. She didn't just stop at music.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Rihanna went full-on business mogul. And honestly, it's so inspiring to see her conquering that world, too.
I know, she's unstoppable. She saw this whole other world to conquer, to express herself, to build something that was truly hers.
Yeah.
And she did it with that same drive, that same passion and dedication she brings to her music.
Absolutely. I mean, we're talking fragrances, fashion lines. She even has her own lingerie brand now.
Savage x Fenty, right.
Cool. But for me, I think the real game changer was Fenty, her fashion house under LVMH.
Oh, for sure. That was major. Think about it. She's the first Black woman to lead a luxury brand for LVMH.
It's insane.
That's not just business, that's a cultural shift.
It's huge.
It's a statement about representation and inclusivity in, the most exclusive industry.
It's like she shattered that glass ceiling. And of course, there's the whole Fenty effect.
That's everywhere.
You can't talk about Rihanna without talking about what she's done for the beauty industry.
Cheers.
I mean, launching Fenty Beauty with 40 foundation shades.
Brilliant.
It wasn't just a product, it was addressing this real need, filling a gap that had been ignored for so long.
The beauty industry had such a narrow definition of beauty for so long.
Right.
And then Rihanna's like, no, we're changing things up.
And it worked.
Totally worked.
Fenty Beauty became this massive success.
I mean, everyone was talking about it.
And it forced other brands to do better. Suddenly, everyone's expanding their shade ranges.
Trying to catch up.
She basically changed the whole beauty world.
Single-handedly, pretty much.
And it wasn't just about makeup either. You think about Savage X Fenty, her lingerie line.
Yeah.
It's all about celebrating different body types, promoting self-love and confidence.
And those fashion shows, they're incredible.
Nothing else I've ever seen.
So diverse, inclusive, full of energy.
It's a movement, a space where everyone feels seen.
And she's doing it all while being, like, ridiculously stylish.
And pushing boundaries.
Yeah.
It's like everything she touches turns to gold. But what's even more impressive?
What is it?
She doesn't just keep it all for herself, She uses her platform to make a real difference.
Her philanthropy is amazing.
Seriously.
The Clara Lionel Foundation, named after her grandparents, right? Doing some incredible work.
Amazing work.
They built a cancer center in Barbados.
I read about that.
State-of-the-art facility. And their global education programs are making a real impact.
It's incredible what they're doing.
And she's not just signing checks either. She's actively involved, using her voice to raise awareness and advocate for change.
Remember when she spoke out against that anti-LGBT law in Indiana?
Oh, yeah.
Or her statement about racial injustice after George Floyd?
Powerful stuff.
She doesn't shy away from tough conversations.
Nope, not at all.
She uses her platform to amplify those voices that need to be heard.
The ones that are often marginalized.
It's clear that her activism is genuine.
And it comes from the heart.
It's not just for show. She really cares.
And, we can't talk about Rihanna without acknowledging the tough times, too.
Oh, for sure.
The Chris Brown assault was a very public, very traumatic experience.
It's hard to even think about what she went through.
Really is.
But what's inspiring is that she turned that pain into something positive.
Yeah, she did.
Became a vocal advocate against domestic violence. Used her story to help others.
That takes incredible strength.
So much strength.
To turn something so painful into a force for good.
Absolutely. And it's important to acknowledge that part of her story.
Yeah.
But we also need to celebrate the joy in her life.
Of course.
Her relationship with Ada Rocky, their two sons. It's beautiful to see.
Yeah, it is.
It's like a reminder that even with all the fame and fortune, she's still a human being.
With hopes and dreams, just like all of us.
And can we talk about Harvard for a second? Harvard named her Humanitarian of the Year.
I mean, come on.
It's huge.
And then there's Rihanna Day in Barbados.
Wow.
Every year.
Talk about hometown pride.
They know what she's done, not just for music, but for the world.
It's pretty mind-blowing, right? Like, think about it. From a teenager with a dream in Barbados to a global icon, entrepreneur, philanthropist, it's amazing.
She's done it all.
I think what strikes me most is how she's stayed true to herself through it all. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. That authenticity, it's so important. In a world where, image is everything, she's never been afraid to be herself,
Yeah.
To show her true colors, be vulnerable, speak her mind. And I think that's what people really connect with.
Truly. Her music, her businesses, her activism, it all comes from a genuine place.
For sure.
It's not about fame or fortune for her. It's about making a difference.
Exactly.
And she takes risks, too.
Oh, yeah.
Pushes those boundaries.
So challenges the status quo.
Look at the Fenty effect. She saw a need for something truly inclusive. And she went for it, even though it meant shaking up a whole industry.
And she succeeded.
It's pretty inspiring.
It really is.
Makes you think about what you could do if you set your mind to it.
What could you accomplish if you weren't afraid to shake things up a little?
Exactly.
I think we can all learn from her,
Yeah.
Her courage, her resilience, her commitment to making the world better.
It's amazing. So as we wrap up this deep dive into Rihanna's world, I have a question for everyone listening. What part of her story resonates with you the most?
Yeah, think about it. Is it her musical journey, her business skills, her activism, Or maybe it's how she overcomes challenges and comes back stronger.
What inspires you about her? What challenges you?
Because that's what these deep dives are all about.
Right.
It's not just learning facts, it's about starting conversations.
Yeah, sparking curiosity.
And empowering you to learn more.
So keep digging, keep learning.
Who knows? Maybe you'll find your own it factor along the way.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone. We'll catch you next time for another fascinating exploration to Waioi.